We all know Silicon Valley is the world's technology center, attracting thousands of startup companies. But now, a number of cities around the world are trying to become the next big tech hub. New York City, of course, already has Silicon Alley, but now there's Silicon Harlem, part of the overall renaissance of the northern Manhattan neighborhood. Here to talk more about Silicon Harlem are the co-founders, Clayton and Bruce Lincoln, and we welcome you to Arise Exchange. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Just Harlem, in the past 10 years, has had a tremendous renaissance. Former President Bill Clinton, of course, has an office there. I think Major League Baseball is now located up there. Give me first an overview of how Harlem has really transformed itself, and what do you think is driving that?
Clayton.
Okay. Well, Harlem has always been on the cutting edge of culture, on the cutting edge of art, on the cutting edge of music, and certainly it's a neighborhood. And so we've seen as a proliferation of the same activity we're seeing all around New York. New restaurants opening, museums proliferating, people connecting, and so it's a renaissance all over again. We've had the Harlem Renaissance before, we're having a new one in the 21st century. And so it's prime to allow for us at Silicon Harlem to transform the neighborhood into a technology and innovation hub.
So, Bruce, what kind of companies are you trying to attract?
Well, we're attracting apps companies. So we have companies such as Around the Way that have developed an app that lets you identify where there are minority-owned businesses. We have merchandise companies. We have a company that's developing a very premium brand of organic pet food to meet that need that's in Harlem. So you have the full range from social innovation to this kind of customer disruption.
Okay, so if I'm starting a tech company, why am I coming to Harlem? Why am I not down in Chelsea? Why am I not in San Francisco?
Well, you can be in all of those locations, but with Harlem, it's affordable. One of the best points about it is it's affordable. At the moment, it's affordable.
Some have watched the rent skyrocket.
Yes. And so, yeah, you can get good space. We are now opening up co-working spaces.
I was about to ask that because that's big on these tech startups, that you're having wide amount of space, office space, for co-working space. And that, I imagine, attracts companies.
It does, especially those startups. So startups with the great new tech idea, whether it's the great new Instagram or Facebook, is starting up as one-two-man shops. And then rather than taking on a full office space, they can come into a co-working space that we have a couple of them proliferating in Harlem right now.
Tech companies are going to be very interested in connectivity and what the grid looks like up there. An initiative started under Mayor Bloomberg, of course, was to provide wireless access. Where are we in that, and how sophisticated from a technology standpoint is the neighborhood right now?
Well, what we have is the Free Harlem Wireless Network, which is the largest contiguous Wi-Fi network in the country. And with our relationship with Verizon Fios, we are developing an initiative called Gigabit Harlem, where we're looking at the next generation internet to make sure that companies will be able to tie into the fiber optic connectivity. And the goal is in the next 5 years create really a ubiquitous network in Harlem that can support all types of on-demand activity.
And what about government assistance here? At one point it was an enterprise zone. I don't know if it still is. Is there some tax incentives that either the city or the state is getting involved to try to encourage companies to set up shop?
Well, they're starting to develop Startup NY, which will be based at City College. So that's meant to attract companies that will be able to either develop a new technology or spin it from City College.
And Startup NY, just to tell the audience, if you connect yourself to a state university, you get a variety of tax benefits.
You get 10 years of tax breaks. There's also activity that's using tax credits for some of the financing. We're involved with organization called Miami Studios that uses tax credits, and it's actually where we're starting to develop our Silicon Harlem Innovation Center.
Look, revitalizing neighborhoods, I think, starts on the small business level. And I don't want to give you, have you give away any of your secret sauce, but what can you say to the communities out there elsewhere that want to get involved and look for startup businesses? Because by attracting workers, you attract new residents and you increase the tax base.
One of the things that we found works, it's not much of a secret anymore, is meetups. If you can organize meetups in your neighborhood, if you can organize meetups in your city, you'll find that there are like-minded people in the city, and they just need a place to organize. And once you galvanize the community, you can now start to attract those type of businesses. And it's a pretty much a fact that one tech job will create 5 additional jobs.
Is that true? One tech job creates 5 jobs
right.
with services, other...
Exactly.
Okay, so what more do you want to see from the state to try to help Harlem? And is this the government needs to get involved, or you think that the businesses are supporting stuff? I guess you're getting help from Verizon.
Well, I think the idea is to sort of think of it not simply as a public-private partnership, more of a private-public partnership. How can we bring private enterprise and what we do entrepreneurially to connect with public agencies in municipalities? So we work closely with electeds and closely with the mayor's office. We also work with the mom and pop shops and the nonprofits, because it has to be that kind of coordinated ecosystem.
Clayton, what about your background that brought you to this?
Well, I worked in cable for many, many years and launched a network called Sega Channel back in '94. And so that was my first sort of entree into technology outside of school. And it really sort of inspired me to see what was possible using digital technology. So that was my background, and then Bruce and I hooked up, and we've been kindred spirits in terms of knowing what can power a community.
Okay, and for people looking for you quickly, a URL to find you?
HTTP
it's siliconharlem.net.
That's good. Thank you so much. Clayton Banks, Bruce Lincoln, thank you so much for coming by. We're going to follow your progress, and I hope to come up there and see it as well.
Thank you very much.
Ahead, how the Ice Bucket Challenge led to the arrest of a felon. Our favorite person of the day is next here on Arise Exchange.